Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. There are people on Instagram pretending to be me. They will follow you, get into your DM, and try to sell you a service. I would never reach out to you and try to sell you anything. These people are very convincing. I've seen how convincing they are because someone actually fell for it that I know personally. So if these people ever reach out to you, report them. That's the best thing that you can do. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. If you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. So this video is about unconscious actions and the astrology behind it. So I wanted to go over Will Smith. I'm not going to go over what happened I'm not going to go over why I think he did what he did or relationship dynamics or anything like that having to do with him because I don't know and it's really none of my business. But what I will do is use him and his chart as an example to help you to understand your chart better. So, of course, most of you know I'm speaking about what happened where Will slapped Chris Rock for a joke that he was making at Jada. And the reason why I'm using this is because when I looked at Will's chart, I noticed that Will has the transiting North Node, South Node transiting his 6th house and his 12th house. So the North Node is in his 12th house and the South Node is in his 6th house. And the 12th house is a place of, the unconscious. It's the house that talks about our undoing. And the reason why the 12th house talks about our undoing, it's because we tend to look, at certain things through rose-colored glasses. And because we look at things through rose-colored glasses, we don't see how destructive these things could be in our lives, or we don't see the reality of these things and how we show up in relations to these things in our lives. So, within Will's 12th house is Uranus and also the North Node transiting. So with Uranus and the North Node transiting the 12th house, it talks about sudden and unexpected changes when it comes to the subconscious mind. Sudden and unexpected changes when it comes to, one spending time alone and needing for introspection to go within oneself to understand, how we're showing up and why we're showing up. Because sometimes we show up and don't even realize how we're showing up until, something happens. And then we realize, oh my God, for the longest, I've been ignoring, my mental health or ignoring myself in different ways and didn't realize it until this thing happened. It's a matter of us thinking that we are growing apple trees all along, only to realize that we've been growing lemons even though we assumed we were planting apple seeds. So that's the power of the 12th house, even though the 12th house is also known as a place of creativity, the place of where we go within ourselves for solitude. But I love to look at the 12th house as it's like a portal. It's like a doorway where we step off into our own subconscious mind. With the North Node transiting that area of his life, I look at how the situation that happened publicly, created an opportunity for isolation and opportunity for introspection. And the reason why I brought this up is because I've created a video back in January about the North Node, South Node transit. And with the North Node transiting into Taurus, how our focus and attention goes more to stability and goes more to, foundation. And with Will, with his Gemini ascendant, this is happening in his 12th house. So with this happening in his 12th house, it talks about like, you know, how his foundation, family foundation and values, the things that he valued could be destructive. And he didn't even realize it until after something happened. It causes us to take a look at, you know, the way we've been living our lives and how we need to go back to the drawing board and recreate things for ourselves. So of course, this Taurus, this energy with the North Node conjunct Uranus is playing out in different areas for all of us. But taking a look at Will's chart and seeing him do something that we all, you know, most of us would think of as like, wow, that was completely unexpected. And to a certain extent, that was something that is, you know, like could destroy his career. And I think about the 12th house being our undoing. And, you know, basically his actions, you know, having to do with defending his stability or foundation or the things he valued could, you know, play a part in his undoing. I hope that never happens or doesn't happen or whatever. But just looking at the axis within his chart and how it's playing out in his 12th house and his 6th house. 6th house, his south node is there. So the two houses that are being emphasized with this transit that I'm talking about is his unconscious mind and how he's showing up in his everyday life, how he's showing up for his peers, for his community, and just how we are seeing him on a day-to-day basis. And when I look at that axis, I look at the opposition, and an opposition is a push and a pull. So the push and pull between how we're showing up for the world and what's happening in our subconscious mind. And sometimes we can experience a clash where it's like, you know, one part of us need for us to show up one way, but then another part of us feels like it's unfair for us to show up that way because, you know, we're serving others, but we're not serving ourselves. So this is where we experience that back and forth within ourselves. And to me, the benefit of, you know, looking into, you know, where the south node, north node is transiting in your chart is finding a common ground and creating balance for yourself. And also to becoming aware of this. So, you know, you might not have a situation where something embarrassing happens to bring your attention to that area of your life. And I created this video, I think I mentioned that already, but in case I didn't, I created it back in January. So it's going to be in the description box below. So I was looking at his chart, yes, based on his Gemini ascendant. And when I look at the balance when it comes to those two energy, the Scorpio, Taurus axis, and Scorpio dealing with secrets and Taurus dealing with things that are more, you know, on the table and in front of us, things that we can experience on a tangible level. And, you know, because of what's hidden in the subconscious mind, you know, it's playing out in the conscious world. I think of like, when I think of the oppositions, I always think about like Gemini energy and how Gemini deals with the twins and how the twins talk about like, you know, two opposing sides within something. And with Gemini energy, you know, I like to focus on the fact how, you know, we tend to, and this energy is in all of us because duality is within all of us. So I focus on the fact that we'll tend to lead with the more sociably acceptable side of ourselves. We tend to make friends and connect with the side of ourselves that's so much more acceptable. And then there's another side of ourselves that we might feel is not acceptable because, you know, that's the side of us where we might be into things and appreciate things that other people don't appreciate. But at the same time, we feel a connection to those things. But because we're living two different lives, like I always look at like smoke coming through the cracks. Eventually the thing that's hidden is going to like smoke come through the crack and everybody is going to smell it and notice it. And it's like, you know, like, oh my God, who are you? That kind of vibe where it's important for us to incorporate the two. And I say incorporate the two where for me, for the longest, I would lead with one side of myself. And I was too ashamed to share with people about my beliefs in spirituality, you know, occultism and different things like that. Like even in my podcast recently, I've been going more slowly more in depth, you know, about different realms and things like that. But for the longest, like I wouldn't lead with that side of myself because I didn't want people to judge me. But over time, like I've accepted who I am. So because I've accepted who I am, I no longer look to other people to validate my beliefs and my decisions. So whenever I meet people, like I lead with the part of myself that was once unacceptable to me. And, you know, I thought it was unacceptable because, you know, some of us are raised in traditional, you know, concrete type of dynamics. So because we were taught that, you know, this isn't of God and that isn't of God, you feel like, okay, you know, I don't feel like what I'm doing is demonic, but I've been conditioned to think that. So that's why I'm ashamed of it. Where once we become confident within ourselves, we realize that no, that's not the case. And you lead with that energy. So when I look at his access with the 12th house, 6th house, to me, this is where we have to like look into like how we show up in order to please other people, and then what we need. And then also too, like I always say to myself, like I always check in with myself and see how I'm doing by what I've been creating. Like if I want to know where I am in my where I am when it comes to relationships, I look at the level of peace that I have when it comes to my connection and what needs fixing. When it comes to like any area of my life, I look at the fruits that I've bear and the lack of peace or the need for more peace that needs to be there. And that helps me to see the kind of programming that I've been holding, that I've been unaware of, to where I'm on this cycle thinking I'm creating one thing, where all along I've been creating something different. But like I said, this might be indifferent for you when it comes to, you know, the South Node, North Node transiting your chart. You know, but whenever you get a chance, check that video out. If you would like to get your natal chart read, the link is in the description box below. If you're still here with me, I would love to hear about it. Please let me know by dropping me a pink heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.